All right. What I want to show you is that bad boy.
Oh yeah.
What do you reckon?
Yeah.
They have the choice of the logo on the side or the back.
Oh.
I tried to get the front.
No, I don't think you want the front with these bad boys.
Back.
I think side.
Side?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Maybe we get a couple of each.
Yeah, as like little samples.
Yeah.
Entering Peaky Blinders season.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
All right. I'll order them tonight.
It'd be rude not to.
Drifters, we're back for another episode of the On the Drift podcast. Now, what I also wanted to show you. So football clubs, right?
Yeah, of the AFL variety or
Yeah.
of the rugby league variety?
Well, I think this would apply to both codes.
Okay.
Potentially the A League, but I'm not so versed in that world.
I don't think anyone is, mate.
So I saw this tweet pop up. Mitch Robinson was absolutely hosing the captain of Hawthorn, James Sicily, for good reason. So Hawthorn, as you could very well be aware, do you know Tasmania is like one of their, like the city of Tasmania is one of their major sponsors?
Yeah, I did know that actually, and they play a certain amount of games there each year.
Yeah. So guess how much Tasmania pay to, be a part of like the jersey sponsor, et al.
I don't know, a couple mil
13.5 million
per
I'd say that's like
the deal over X amount of years. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So whether that's per year,
For a 5-year lease or whatever. Yeah.
Whatever.
I gotcha.
All right. So James Sicily, right? He's the skipper of Hawthorn. Hawthorn obviously have a relationship with Tasmania, both as a sponsor, and you'd say that part of that deal would be that they play a lot of games down there.
Mm-hmm.
Have done since, the mid-2000s.
For donkeys years.
And they have great success down there. Now, he was asked about the prospect of Tasmania having a 19th side or the 19th team there.
Ooh, I feel like this is going to be cringe.
So James Sicily is the skipper of Hawthorn, I want to remind you. There's not much happening down there. It could be difficult. I couldn't imagine myself living there. Now, you would think, right, that these players would have media training, yeah?
Yeah.
I literally saw this like 5 minutes before we came on air. I was like, I have to say something.
Every single exec, every single board member of Hawthorn Football Club has just simultaneously shut their pants at hearing that. And just thought, no, he didn't say that. James, he'd never say anything like that. And then what? Robbo hosed him.
I'm sure sponsors love hearing that, considering Tassie pumps $13.5 million into a club that's currently on Struggle Street. Didn't miss.
He didn't miss, mate. He copped him fair in the middle of the bloody face.
Fucking good shout though. Like James Sicily, mate. Come on.
I'll tell you what, and you can put your foot in your mouth all the time, but that is a monumental
Just
up.
Just have a think, mate. Like the journalist asking that would be like, all right, we're gonna get some
some real lukewarm takes, right?
Yeah,
a real sitting on the fence type of take, nothing controversial.
Yeah, okay, we're gonna get a Simon Caddick block here.
Yeah,
we're gonna get a Bucky Rogers just shouldering arms. Oh yeah, whatever. Instead, we got Haydos just walking down the pitch. He's just bashed it over me wicket.
Well, we we just mentioned before we started the podcast, like sometimes. In the words of Mick Ennis, we can't believe some of the things that people say to us. Just in like a general setting, people say things like, "Oh, yeah, did you even listen to what I said?
Did you read what I just sent you? Can you comprehend the point I'm trying to get across?"
Yeah, your comprehension score in high school must have been low. Like, it begs belief. Like, we're not rocket surgeons, mate. So we're not the smartest people in the world, but just take some common sense, right? And James Sicily, he's got work to do.
Yeah, we're definitely not brain surgeons, mate. I remember my year 12 English teacher. I handed in one assignment. I've told you this to nauseam, but I handed in a draft as you do in year 12. barely any, just some really small, like, grammar things there.
Yeah.
And I also gave it to my sister to proofread. Smart play by me because she was a straight A student. And she said, this is really good. Make those changes. Yep, you should be all sweet. Get the result back. Now, at the school that we went to, they had like 9 tiers within each grade. So I got a B double plus on this assignment, right? English. I was fanging for that A. I was really, really keen for it. And I was so upset.
Mate, he's given you like an edging mark.
Oh,
he's edged you, B double plus. And you're just sitting there like, just waiting.
Yeah. And he's just dominated me. And then
Yes.
I've gone up to him. I'm like, bro, what is this? What is this, Dross? You gave me like no feedback on the draft. And he's like, that's your ceiling. That's your ceiling. And I've helped you achieve it. I'm like, but I want to push through the ceiling, mate.
Your job as teacher and the reason why these school fees are extortionate is because you're supposed to break through that ceiling for me so I can elevate my abilities.
Yeah. Instead, he metaphorically went straight through my asshole.
He gave you an absolute pegging.
Oh, mate, he absolutely gave me a proper rogering. So I don't think that could have easily been his last year at that particular school. So
yes,
anyway,
very well could have been.
Anyway, so that's the point of that little story is that, I'm not an Einstein type of operator.
No,
I'm a B double plus ceiling guy.
Yeah, and James Sicily.
What's his ceiling?
His ceiling is no longer shitting the bed. That's his ceiling. His ceiling might be the occasional wet blanket.
So if he's captain of the club doing that, right? What are the first year players going to do when they get fronted by the media? They're just going to
just gonna go off like a cut snake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should have seen me on the weekend, bruh. I was 6 schooners deep, having a couple of durries, amongst other things.
But not down in Tasmania because I think everything closed down there at 8 p.m. Shithole.
Oh, shit.
Speaking of shitholes. Oh, no. Look, to be honest, I actually ventured down to Adelaide, funnily enough, for a wedding last year for my cousin. It was a beautiful time. Really? It was my first time in Adelaide.
Okay.
And as a city, really, really enjoyed it.
I agree.
But every single time I pass Morphettville Racecourse, whether it be in an Uber or public transport or whatever, just gave it the double birds out the window. So fuck you, Morphettville. Fuck your Group 1 racing. And then just enjoyed the rest of Adelaide.
Okay. Yeah. Adelaide Oval's good.
Fantastic.
This particular oval that has horses run around on it, not as much.
Just the quality.
Yeah. Like all right, so one of their key or feature race days of the year, right, is Adelaide Cup Day, right? 3,200 metres.
Uh-huh.
You think they'd probably get it right. You know what I mean?
You'd think so.
I don't think it was either the leaders won all day or a leader couldn't win. And they were 5 to 6 lanes wide on the track. That's what you dish up on your grand final day. Hopefully we don't get that this weekend.
Do you know what I love about Adelaide racing is that one of the very few Group 1s that they do have is worth about 500 grand in prize money, which is the Australasian Oaks. And then you go up to Rockhampton for the Archer, a slot race in Rockhampton in Queensland. And it's worth $750,000.
No, not 500, mate. $502,250.
So what has it gone up with inflation or something? Honestly, guys, get it together. Anyway.
So we're going to kick things off with the Australasian Oaks. Group 1 over 2,000 metres for the 3-year-old fillies. Now, if my top selection wins this, I could be a big fan of Adelaide racing.
Mate, you need to claw your way back into contention. So you'll be praying.
Yeah. What's the odds of the field here, actually? I think it's about $4, $5 a field.
With Ned's, it's $5.50 the field. She's Fit, the Western Australian horse, is your current favourite. But then, you've got a few sort of between that $5 to $10 mark.
Yeah. So you were on Arts in the Australian Oaks.
Yes, like a dickhead, I jumped off Penny Whacker onto Arts. on the back of its dominant win in the Adrian Knox Stakes. And it ran 5th, I think. You could probably argue that it didn't handle the quick backup in only its 4th career start. You could also argue that it's not a 2,400 metre horse, or you could just argue that it's just not as good as some others floating around. But it's the only horse out of the Aussie Oaks in this race, from what
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, she's definitely in my betting strategy. Did you look that way? Did you focus on the South Australian form?
I tried to. All right. If I was to include one into my strategy, but I put a line through it because of barrier 18, is Affaire à Suave, if that is indeed
Affaire à Suivre.
Suivre.
Affaire à Suivre. Parlez-vous français, which is French for Morphettville sucks. No, yeah, Affaire à Suivre.
So she beat the boys in the Port Adelaide Guineas over the 1,800 metres. I think she had plenty left in the tank. Right stable. Kieran by David Eustace, as we mentioned a couple of weeks ago.
Group 1, Johnny Allen.
Johnny Allen in the saddle. He wins these Group 1s in Adelaide for fun.
Yeah, he's just like, I'll take that check free. I'll take that check free. He's like, pretty sure I won this much prize money in a benchmark 78 in Sydney the other day. But anyway, barrier 18 though. There doesn't look to be a lot of pace in this field. No. How are you thinking that the map sort of shapes up?
Oh, mate, it's anyone's guess. I don't know. I don't know the form that well. So,
running on time will lead. Yep. So running on time will come out. I think you'll see the likes of Jenny Lala, another Mara Eustace horse, ping the gates. Presenia March out of the Busted and Young stable. Aruga Mama, and I think Arts will probably sit handy as well. She's run a little bit sticky, but I think she'll be up on pace. And then, the likes of everything else pretty much will just be sort of jostling for that sort of backward midfield area. But I think, Affaire à Suivre will probably be right at the back.
Okay. Well, I've totally ignored that form, and I've gone hunting for value, but one caught my eye right down the bottom. Not right down the bottom, but very, very close to the bottom. Number 16, Moya Lass. So I saw the silk, so I'm like, I remember a filly for Julius Sandu flying home in one of those races at Flemington. Went through her form. I was 100% right at this stage. Now, you look at her starting price profile. Doesn't look great, $201 that day. So you go like, okay. But she was finishing 3.5 lengths behind the likes of Revolutionary Miss, Papillion Club, Nunthorpe. In a race like this, what price would they be, right? She steps up to the 2,000 metres next start, albeit in a maiden. But against the boys, 2 subsequent winners out of the race, she won with an absolute leg in the air. Ran really, really solid time, 12 lengths quicker than the benchmark in that type of race with those type of conditions. 4-week freshen up here. Froggy Newitt in the saddle. I think there's a lot of intent here. I think she can actually win the race for Julius Sandu for his first ever Group 1.
Jeez. Who would have thought Moya Lass had beat Lofty Strike to the punch? Froggy Newitt on board. I'm not going to lie. I haven't even looked at that filly briefly. But you're right. You look at that form around Gringotts, form around Papillion Club, who came out and won. Revolutionary Miss. I'm not sure the horses that have won out of that race that she won. Has Bangle Boy or Spirit, have any of those types come out and won?
Unsure. Haven't delved that much deeper into it.
But, if the clock stacked up and the form stacked up, then maybe she'll stack up here. $23 with Neds.
$23, man.
Fucking hell.
I'm going to find out at that price. Because a lot of the others that I was thinking about and were keen on, so I'm thinking of the likes of like She's Fit, beating the boys or running well against the boys over in WA but over longer distances. Arts, obviously. Jenny Lala, sure. As times goes by, she has form around my girl Pavitra and the likes. Affaire à Suivre.
Affaire à Suivre. Souvlaki.
Like all of them have drawn so sticky. Like Moya Lass, I think she'll get the gun run. She could sit midfield, and although it was only a maiden, this is a huge step up in grade, or is it?
Oh, mate.
You know what I mean?
The Australasian Oaks pops up things like that all the time. So finding a roughie in this race, it's probably a bit of a race like last week, or it's a bit of a stinky race. You try and find some value, but no, I'm more keen on the ones in the market to a degree. Arts for me, she's got to be in my betting strategy. I can't jump her for now, and I think 2,000 metres is more her go. And plus, she was only fourth up on the quick back up after dominating them in a Group 3 on a heavy track. Comes into a Group 1. So I think she's probably got, you could argue, the form leading into this race, even though she's finished fifth. So Arts is definitely my numbers. I do like Jenny Lala too. I like Jenny Lala's last start win. It's drawn super well, so we'll roll forward and probably be in the right position. $8 with Neds. And I actually do really like Afera Suivre. And the only reason why I can pronounce it is because I was looking at its form and watching some replays. I was like, I need to figure out how to pronounce this horse's name. And Afera Suivre actually means on target or one to follow in French. So,
she could be on target here.
Could be on target here, I guess. That's where I'm going.
She was pretty dominant in her wins, looking at her replays as well.
Mate, she was. And at the end of the 1,800 metres, like you said, against the boys, she was drawn away from them. Yeah. So she'll eat up the 2,000 metres. She's with the right stable, with the right jockey. Yeah, you got to navigate from barrier 18, Johnny. But do it for me, please. $6.50 with Ned. She's my on toppy. I'll have $40 on her. I'll have $40 on Arts. Depending on how I feel, I might change her on the day to be my on toppy, but she's $6 with Neds, and then I'm going to have $20 on Jenny Lala. $8 with Neds. That'll get me more than my money back. So that's how I'm playing the race. With
1 by 3.
Zero confidence.
More or less. 1 by 3, more or less. 25 on the nose, 75 to place. Because when in doubt, I'm just going to hunt for value.
Yeah. Just got to, try and land something right between the eyes. So that's the Australasian Oaks.
Yes.
What else do we have in Morphettville? Race 8, the Chairman Stakes. Loco just wins that, you reckon?
Sure.
$2.70 with Neds. He's got the form into this race. His 3 starts have all been good. One on debut, and then run 2 seconds in a row. A second 2 Gringotts, which Moylas has form around. So, Loco in that race for me.
Yes, I agree. I have an opinion, be it lukewarm or otherwise, about Gringotts. I think it's a smart horse. Now, the Port Adelaide Cup, race 7, 2,500 metres. Any firm opinions here?
There was one horse that I didn't mind the look of. Again, you just got to wait for the form to load. And we're actually talking about this today, funnily enough, in the red and white silks, the Pinecliff Racing Silks number 11 designs. Zaley obviously came out and brained them last week, and this thing ran third. I thought it went really well on the quick back up here. Mickey D in the saddle, $8 with Neds, but, not in a massive way.
Yep. I had zero opinion.
Zero opinion.
Zero. No opinions to be had.
No, that's fair enough, because like we said, it's Adelaide racing. Like,
yes.
what's there to truly enjoy?
Yes. Okay, now we go to Sandown, race 9, the anniversary Vase, 1,400 metres listed race. Now, Cardinal Gem. I think he's a sensational bet here at $3.40 with Neds.
Mate, I think you're onto something. Yeah, 100%. Similarly to the demolition jobs that we've seen in recent weeks, just like, why is that horse that price? It doesn't make any sense. So, yeah, Cardinal Gem for me.
Like, I'm looking at it because when I was going through the form, right, as I have in previous weeks with Jigsaw and El Patroness, I'm like, okay, who's beating this big boy? Cherry Tortoni, first up in about 40 weeks. King Magnus, first up for about 52 weeks. Crosshaven, nonny. Buffalo River, even bigger nonny.
It's such a nonny.
Later of Honor, potentially. She's like the one I'm a little bit spooked about, but again, she hasn't won for a very long time. Bermudez, not here. And the rest, I'm just like, maybe Mega Mia, maybe.
You can't find anything to beat it.
No, I can't. So Cardinal Gem wins the 9th at Sandown. Now, we we find some better stuff happening here at Eagle Farm. Race 4 is the Dalrello 2-year-old plate. 1,000 metres listed race for the 2-year-olds. Party for 2 resumes here after running in the Blue Diamond. Had a trial, blew them away there. 1,000 metres, 3 attempts, 2 wins, 1 third for O'Day Hoisted stable. Benny Thompson, $2.60. Does she just win?
I actually like something on debut from the Waller stable, number 3, Armed Forces. This has just got classic Chris Waller, late season 2-year-old going for a JJ Atkins type written all over it. Maybe not a JJ, but clearly they have a high opinion of this horse. And I've heard some spruiking from the stable that they like it, Armed Forces, out of I'm Invincible. Been really smart in its trials, been sort of lazy and then sort of charging home, finishing second in both of them. The market's already found at $4.50 with Neds. Watch for betting on the day. That's probably going to be the one I pick, Armed Forces.
Lovely. I actually want to risk Party for 2 as well with the stablemate, number 10, App and Girl. Tore these things apart at the Sunshine Coast, has then gone to Deegan again on one of the great trial days, I would believe, and then just
the greatest trial day.
And then, she won that as well. So I think she's pretty speedy. I like the gaps between runs as well. I think with these 2-year-olds, they can often do it a little bit too often. But I like the gaps. O'Day Hoisted know what they're doing, mate.
100% they do.
I think she's a smart filly. So here we go. This is almost the race of the day for me. Victory Stakes, race 8, 1,200 metres, group 2, wait for age. Now, Private Eye is $2.50. What are your opinions on this race? Because there's a couple here that we have time for.
Yeah, it's a fantastic race. I think there's going to be a stack of speed on. Prince of Boom will roll forward. Rothfire will roll forward. And then you're probably going to get a little bit more speed as well from Holyfield on the inside. Private Eye, we were talking about this today. Like, based on class and based on prior performance, he should be putting this field to the sword, despite the fact that he's coming across a couple of smart sprinters. But he's had an interesting prep. Like, first up in the Newmarket as a toppy, he was good. You can forgive that heavy, that run on the heavy in the TJ. So hopefully he finds a firmer deck here. And yeah, look, I'm not a fan of the stable at all, but he should be winning this. My guy Paul Laley will bounce back in a big way. The 1,000 metres doesn't suit.
I think he's lost interest in horse racing, to be honest.
He very well could, but he's got the Group 1, so who cares? Yeah. He'll be going to stud, doing his best work, Paul Laley. But no, Private Eye should be winning this, I think.
I think King of Sparta is a good bet in this race. $7. Key to him is a bone-dry track. Now, I've had a bit of a theory which has paid dividends sometimes, this prep. With those highly weighted horses in Group 1s running a really nice race in those Group 1 handicaps, gets back to wait for age here with track conditions that should suit. Eagle Farm is one of the greatest draining tracks of all time, and it has been wet here. But if it is a good track, I want to be with him because 1,200 metres is right in his wheelhouse. And I think he's actually low-flying, this horse. And Private Eye can put in a really stinky run every now and then.
He sure can. But if he's running second in an Everest and braining him down the straight, and if he's going towards like a Kingston Smith or a Doom 10,000 or whatever, he should be putting this field away.
He should be.
He should be,
but not a fait accompli, I would have thought.
No, it's not.
Now, Queensland continues to deliver in the last.
I am loving this from Queensland Racing.
Thank you.
I am.
You're late to the party.
Yeah, Shitville down south and in Adelaide is putting on a benchmark 64 in the last race. Hey. Whereas Queensland is just continuing to put in high quality for the last and just to keep the interest sort of rolling. With which is, the Group 2 Queensland Guineas. And that's a pretty smart race.
1,600 metres for the 3-year-olds. Now, the 3-year-olds, it's fair to say this isn't a vintage edition, but there's some smart horses here.
There is. I think there's a really smart one, mates. Number 3, Kovalika. Geez, those silks are well known. Colding Silks, same ownership. Also, the Kukaracha Silks, who won the Queensland Derby. Sorry to bring that up. Geez, he was good resuming on a heavy 8, finishing third in the South Pacific Stakes behind Rosetta and Atmosphere. I think Rosetta's a pretty smart horse. This thing in early markets is the favourite for the Queensland Derby, and I think rightfully so. Has already got form over 2,000 metres and a little bit further. He's $2.35 with Ned, so you're not getting a big price to find out, but he should be putting these away with Hot Nash on.
Lob this in for your Ned Same Race Multi or your Quinellas. Number 4, Brosnan. Loves the mile, this horse. No real excuses, to be honest, for that Rosehill Guineas run. But the 2 runs prior to that in the Hobartville and in the Far Lap Stakes behind Your Girls Who Gotcha, he was bloody fantastic. Now, he's only had 1 or 2 runs up here in Queensland. That was in the JJ Atkins, where he ran a third, where if he ran second, it would have been one of the great collects of all time for Yorkshire. I had him in a Quinella so many times with She's a Belter, but alas, he didn't do that. Now, the freak, Brenton Avdulla in the saddle, I think he can feature here. $14 with Neds. I can find out at that price.
Fair.
Form around Zugotcha, Osipenko, Zoo Tiger, Afcabin, mate. Come on.
Fair. No, fair. One we haven't mentioned, but is short in the market as well as Fortune Teller, $4.80 with Neds. Could be a good shout. So, yeah, keep a few in your quaddie. But I think that's a nice little 2-legger with Neds. The old Private Eye into Kovalika just to end the day with a bit of a juicy finish.
Delicious.
Nutritious.
Delightful.
Yeah, exactly. Fergalicious.
That is way more than what we need to do. Now,
a bit scuffed.
If you're listening to this end part, you won't realise the shit show that happened for about 5 minutes there.
Just in licorice all sorts.
But we were also just discussing before this. We'll more than likely be doing a review podcast now. We might even be doing a live reaction to a lot of the races because we have a big fat Greek wedding this Saturday.
We do. So yeah, look, we don't want to overpromise and underdeliver drifters, and as I'm sure drifters appreciate because they live the life that we sort of live. On Saturday we get up to some mischief on Saturdays, and sometimes on a Sunday we're a bit slim dusty. And I was under the distinct impression that, the drifters were a fan of us celebrating and having fun on a Saturday. Like, I was under that distinct impression.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we should have a review on Sunday, but we just want to give you guys the heads up.
Yeah, all right, so there's a couple of scenarios here, right? Number 1, we don't record, which is very much a possibility, but I think I reckon we'll come through. Option 2 is we record, no video. Option 3, we record with video likely to come out later than it usually does.
Yep.
Because we have a recovery to go to as well.
Yeah. Yeah, we're smacking piss this weekend.
Yeah.
It's big. We're going to be suited and booted. Full suit and tie, whistle and flute.
Yes.
Things to do. Greek weddings to attend.
Cigars to smoke.
Maybe some ouzo in there.
Gin to consume from our table from all reports.
That is so dangerous, mate. Gin and sodas on tap. Shit.
All right, so we kind of want to do this podcast because it could be one of the great hangovers of all time, and we need to almost tell you our process through it.
We need to give you a blow by blow.
Yes.
Yeah, and no doubt there will be some stories told on the Saturday night and on the Sunday morning.
Yes, but I guess we'll find out this weekend. Goodbye.
See you, drifters.